Also, back page of the Times today, Twickenham to be renamed. It's also a big piece in the Telegraph today too. Ben Coles saying RFU to end 125 years of Twickenham. This is just strange to think. Ben Coles writing Twickenham will be renamed the Allianz Stadium from September.
No, it won't.
What do you mean?
Because nobody is going to call it the Allianz Stadium. Everybody is going to call it Twickenham. It's a desperate piece of marketing, I think, from Allianz.
100 million,
nobody will call it. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Okay, they can put their banners on the side of the stadium, the Allianz Stadium. Everybody will call it Twickenham. I'll never call it. I used to live in Twickenham. I'm never going to call it the Allianz Stadium. No. Under any circumstances. You see it now when St James's Park was renamed. I can't even remember what it was renamed because nobody called it by the sponsor's name. Rightly so as well. It's Twickenham, for goodness sake.
Well, the controversial move is said that it could be up to 100 million, but has polarised England supporters such as Jeff Stelling.
Dead right.
I hate when he sits on the fence, this man.
No. Well, sometimes it's just so daft. You talked about... at Old Trafford, there's a company called Snapdragon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who are talking about trying to buy Old Trafford, the naming rights. Well, don't bother, guys, because nobody will call it the Snapdragon Stadium or anything like that. Don't bother. People make massive mistakes with... If you've got a new stadium, that's different.
Yes.
And you call it after the sponsor, that's fine. But even then, you can drop a clanger. I remember when St Mary's was first opened. They insisted on calling the Friends Providence St Mary's.
Yeah,
well, it was an absolute clanger from Friends Providence because nobody was ever going to include Friends Providence, when they were talking about St Mary's. It was just St Mary's,
It's true.
Providence Stadium. It's
too much. A mouthful,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah. No, it'd be interesting, very interesting.
Until they start making sure that we all get in trouble, we'll get fines anytime we call it Twickenham on air.
Who's going to fine us?
I don't know, someone or other will come in. There'll be a rule, won't there?
Honestly, on Soccer Saturday, we used to get complaint after complaint after complaint because I would not call grounds by sponsored names. I remember Peterborough, I'm not sure, I can't even remember who was their sponsor. Because sponsors at that level, they change every blooming year. And the Peterborough press office rang me. I'll have a word with Darren McAnthony, by the way, the next time I see him. The Peterborough press office rang me and said, you've got to call it the, the Abax Stadium or whatever. And I said, no, I'm going to call it London Road. He said, you can't. I said, where's the ground? He said, well, it's in London Road. I said, exactly. So that's why we're going to call it London Road. I was slightly in difficulty, of course, when Hartlepool's ground, which was Victoria Park, became the Super 6 Stadium and then the Suit Direct Stadium. So that put me in a little difficult situation. Anyway.
Rebel without cause.
You touched a nerve there, Siobhan, this morning.
I hate it. I hate it. The classic old stadiums should retain their name. To the fans, they do. No rugby fan is going to say, let's head off to the rugby today and at the Allianz
because it just makes you think of Germany. It just makes you think of the Allianz. Of
course it does.
There's too many.
I think it's the 10th. I think I read it's the 10th ground.
You're right.
That was going to have the Allianz name. Mind you, maybe Allianz think, we're talking about it now. How much is this publicity worth to them,
Yeah, Munich,
that's
Sao Paulo,
20 quid's worth of their
You'll be getting a phone call, Jeff, after the show. There'll be a few quid in it.
Can you come in for a meeting, Jeff?
Thanks, Siobhan.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.